Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is going on this evening? Well, tonight, I shall say maybe. This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you live for my live review of WWE Fastlane 2019 that took place March the 10th, 2019. Well, tonight, yeah, I should say technically because it's like 1 o'clock in the morning right here. I do apologize if this review is coming a little bit late. I dozed off after the show because I had to get up a little early this morning. I only got like 4 hours of sleep last night, so I dozed off. So I woke up and I'm a little more lively. I'll probably do that. And the one turn alert we got tonight, I'll take care of that tonight as well. But we're going to talk about this show that took place at the Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland, Ohio, just about 2 hours west of me, northwest of me. I was there actually last November. It's a very nice town, and also the hometown of my good friend here on YouTube, Gene the Man 94, or Gene from Now BS Podcast. Again, Gene has hit it at a return to YouTube soon. Not sure when it will be, but hopefully he'll come back soon. He was there live tonight in Cleveland. Hope you had an awesome time, Gene, because quite frankly, let's be real, guys. I went into this show with no expectations. I was saying for the moment I heard that, there's going to be 2 pay-per-views in between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, I was furious. And especially with this show, because this show has never had a good history. Again, before tonight, the best Fastlane, I got to say, was the first one. It was decent show. It wasn't anything great. This show, I was kind of expecting like a decent, like a C+ show. Boy, did I just set my expectations pretty low from now on, because I actually, for the most part, thought this was a really fun show. Definitely, in my opinion, and this is Fastlane number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15, 16, 17, 18, yeah, 5, the 5th episode of Fastlane in WWE's history. Gotta say, this one was definitely the best one. Couple little nitpicks I have here and there. Some stuff that I did not like that happened. Some stuff I feel like I would have appreciated more if it wasn't for this one little storyline that, some people are trying to tell me that, authority figures and, their superstar characters aren't, the same thing, basically. But in reality, again, think about this, guys. I'm a videographer in real life. Continuity is a big pet peeve of mine, definitely, when it comes to storytelling and whatnot. And obviously, there was a couple things that happened that I like, but at the same time, I'm just like, but this happened though before, so basically that. But that's basically the nitpicks. Other than that, for the most part, I really enjoyed the show. It was fun. It hyped up a lot of things for WrestleMania, which now is which is next 27 days away. Of course, I will be there live in section 126, row 23, C4, as I keep hyping up. And tonight, honestly, got me a little more excited for the show. And yeah, for things to come. I don't know what this was, but anyways, let's check the live chat first before we get started. We got Elite Squad saying Kofi got screwed, and this was a crazy show, for sure was. And we got Mark saying, hey, and he's shocked that Dean didn't turn. I'm a little shocked he didn't. Also, I will pitch, though, my idea, though, if Dean will still have a WrestleMania match or not at WrestleMania. We'll get there, of course, a little bit later on. But thank you for joining me for this late review, Elite Squad and Mark. And, of course, if I'm still, perked up enough, I'll try to do the turn alert really quick before I go to bed tonight as well. If not, if I'll at least record. If I don't get upload, I'll definitely upload it tomorrow morning. But let's get into the show. Because there was an advertised match of Rey Mysterio and Andrade Cien Almas for the pre-show, even though I'm like, come on, like, you're really gonna waste that match on the pre-show. I actually did turn on the pre-show today, just put it like kind of in the background, just did other things while that was going on. So I had the pre-show on the background, and all I can really say about the pre-show, I remember the Iconics were, whining about not getting a tag title shot yet, and that Sasha and Bayley haven't come over to SmackDown after they've gone to NXT and Raw with the tag titles. What else we got here? Oh yeah, we had EC3 flirting with Mandy Rose. The most EC3 has talked since he's come to the main roster, and quite frankly, I kind of digged it a little bit. Of course, Sonya's like, away, Buster, get away. Well, first off, Sonya Deville, you pretty much just pushed away EC3, a guy who I can I can get behind an EC3 and Mandy Rose romance. Of course, knowing me, I'm just like, hey, EC3, I know you're probably big and probably kick my ass, but maybe step aside and find someone else. And Sonya, if you try to get in my way, though, when I get to my girl Mandy, I'll be like, hey, Sonya, I got 2 days above you. I'm 2 days older than you. Get out of my way. But yeah, right, again, just kidding, too much. But anyways, we did not, though, get Rey Mysterio and Andrade Cien Almas on the pre-show, as there was a segment with Carmella backstage getting people to sign a petition to allow R-Truth to get another U.S. title opportunity. It was signed, but then, of course, there was an argument with Zelina Vega and her about how Andrade should have won, even though Carmella mentions that Andrade was the one who was pinned off the Uranagi from Samoa Joe. So Joe rolls up basically to says, no, I'll take any competition, basically. And they signed the petition, it was advertised. Then we got added to the show a fatal four-way match for the U.S. title. Basically the same exact match that we got on SmackDown this past week. We'll get to that match in a little bit, but let me tell you, that might have been my match of the night. That or maybe the WWE Championship match. One of the two for sure was one of my matches of the night. And then we had AJ Styles interviewed about how he felt Kofi Kingston deserves to get the title shot tonight instead of Kevin Owens. He also referred to he also talked about what's been going on with Randy Orton lately. And then apparently before the kickoff match started, Kofi Kingston was called into the McMahon family's office to talk about the WWE Championship right before the first match, which was a pre-show match. Again, it was the New Day versus Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura. Again, I wasn't really paying much attention to it. From what I saw, they tried to make it, a solid match. I say it was decent, but at the same time, again, I still just did not care because I don't understand the story with Rusev and Nakamura. Again, why are they a team? They were literally fighting like 2 days before they became a team, and just out of the blue, boom, they were a team, and that was it. I'm just like, okay, like, why? Some good near falls in there, but eventually, New Day get the win. So then that's when, the main show starts. And of course, we're still speculating what's going on with Kofi. Is he going to get added to the match? Is Vince going to tell him he made a mistake? He's going to give him the WWE Championship opportunity at WrestleMania 35. There was also a segment there where Kevin Owens, again, just, hyping up for his match. And of course, Kofi, wish him good luck. And Owens is, again, admitting that, he feels bad that he took Kofi's opportunity, but he's not going to pass up when someone gives him an opportunity, which, okay, I get it, trying to make it the babyface. But I still don't understand why is Vince McMahon, what does Vince McMahon have against Kofi getting this opportunities? I'm hoping, and let's put it this way, I'm hoping they're not going to try to do that whole storyline what they did with Triple H and Booker T when they made that remark because, WWE's never had a black champion before, basically, which, that would be stupid to do that storyline again. Again, just give Kofi the belt. The guy has worked hard for 11 years. And I get it if they're trying to, hold off till WrestleMania, but there's been no explanation as to why Vince McMahon has took Kofi out of the match. And again, I get they're making Kevin Owens a babyface, which so far, I think he's been a great babyface. But at the same time, it's still kind of bothering me that, okay, you're trying to make him a babyface. At the same time, you took away the guy probably had the most momentum going into the match. Like there should have been like some other story leading into Kevin Owens gets opportunity, Kofi losing his opportunity, or something like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, just a little bit of a small rant there on the McMahons, as I've been ranting on them a lot lately. And you'll hear me rant on them just a little bit more throughout this show. But other than that, again, this was good stuff. But speaking of McMahons, our opening match was for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. It was the Usos taking on Team Best in the World, The Miz and Shane McMahon. And, first, the match itself I'll talk about, which I thought was a pretty solid opening tag match. Definitely got the crowd hyped up. Miz, of course, being, from Cleveland, Ohio, the hometown hero, with his dad, at in the front row at ringside, basically watching the match. This match was solid, but let me put something together first before we talk about the ending, before what happened after the match. Well, first off, my favorite spot of this entire match, no doubt about it, was when Shane McMahon and I think it was one of the Usos, whatever one it is, were like staring at each other from like, one end to the other basically. And, one of them was basically getting ready to, whoever was on the top row was getting ready to do a frog splash on Miz. I thought, oh, they're gonna have him just do coast to coast on whichever Uso sit in the other corner and then just break up the pinfall or something like that. No. And put it this way also, Jeff Jarrett apparently is part of the creative team now and was helped write the show. And if he did, for the most part, good job, Double J. But anyways, there was a spot again where it looked like it was going to be like a Shane hitting coast to coast in the corner, and then the Uso and the splash on Miz. But instead, the Uso, whichever Uso was, went for the splash. Shane McMahon, like so high up in the air, does a freaking coast to coast on whichever Uso was going for the splash in midair. And it was not my favorite spot of the night for any of these matches, but I was just like, holy shit. Like that was like a spectacular spot there. The thing about this match though was The Miz, I don't think ever tagged in Shane. Like Shane was just more so there lurking around. I don't know what it is. Anyways, but he was just like, just lurking around, just like, kind of like helping The Miz out. Like when this match was happening, I thought at first the story being told was The Miz was trying to, impress his father, basically. It was going to fall apart and they're going to lose. And then, Miz would turn on Shane as we've been predicting for months. So towards the end of the match, Miz is right towards the front and he sees his father. His father tells him to go up to the top rope. He does, going for a splash, but whichever Uso was a legal person caught him in midair, rolled him up for a schoolboy pin to get the victory. So I'm like, okay, I pretty much figured. So I literally just say, okay, here it comes. Here it comes. The turn we've been suspecting ever since this whole Team Bestie thing started with, The Miz turning on Shane. And keep in mind here, I'm thinking, though, before, what all went down happens, I'm thinking, this is Miz's hometown. It's really going to be very tough trying to get people to boo The Miz in his hometown. And then I'm just sitting there more thinking, but why would you turn Shane when, again, the McMahon's supposed to be these big heroes, being these authority figures, because we're the authority now, apparently. But then again, Vince McMahon has been making decisions against us, of course, and, stuff that's obviously not keeping their word. And now more and more I think about it, that segment of them saying that they're taking over was absolutely pointless. So I'm like, okay, why would you make Shane McMahon, though, a heel? A heel basically right now, and he is probably, out of all the authority figures besides maybe Triple H, the most lovable one to get behind. Who's going to want to cheer Stephanie McMahon? As I said last week when I was ranting about the Ronda Rousey turn, which again was the right direction for Ronda, but again I still felt it was a week too early when they did it. But anyway, so after the match, again I thought, okay, maybe Miz was trying to impress his father. And then he'll take out his frustrations on Shane, basically, that, they couldn't get the job done, basically, or whatnot, or like Shane, that you should have tagged me and whatnot. So what happens is, they're in a ring, they shake hands. They walk over to Mr. Miz, and Miz hugs his father. And then, Shane shakes Mr. Miz's hand. But the moment that Miz hugged his dad, and I saw Shane in the background, I'm like, wait a minute, it's going to be the complete opposite here, isn't it? So then, they both like stood next to each other, like holding up Mr. Miz's hand, Mr. Miz's hand, also Mr. Miz's hand, Mr. Miz's hand, holding their arms up. And then Miz starts to take the lead. I'm like, okay, either Miz is going to turn around and just clothesline Shane, or it's going to be the complete opposite. Sure enough, guys, it was the complete opposite. Shane McMahon brutally attacked Miz from behind. He like ripped off his Cleveland shirt. He literally grabbed, Mr. Miz and just started yelling at him, like squeezing his face basically like that. And he just brutally assaulted the Miz. And all I remember him saying was looking over at Mr. Miz and saying, "He's your son. he's your son or something like that. So, yeah, shocking turn of events. It was Shane McMahon who turned heel instead of The Miz. As we all knew that, this one was going to turn on the other again. I kept saying for months it's going to be Miz. Because as I always say, I just don't think The Miz can pull off a babyface run. Because the last babyface run he had was just terrible. I mean, yes, that was years ago when he wasn't as high up on the totem pole. He had a great, 2-year run, basically having several Intercontinental Championship runs. So I'm sure his credibility is higher now. But again, I'm just surprised that it is Shane and not The Miz. Because as I said, it was just a very weird situation. Again, you had The Miz in his hometown. How was he going to get? He was not going to get booed. But you have Shane McMahon again, who's like an authority figure that we're supposed to feel as a hero because they're making the show better. Which, come on, it's not really that much better. Raw and SmackDown for sure. But so it was still like a very awkward situation. And of course, later on, interviewer was backstage trying to get a word from Shane. Shane has walked out, asked him a question. He's going to look like, "Are you crazy? I'm not telling you." And he walks in. So I'll have to wait till Tuesday to hear what it is. I'm pretty sure it's going to be something like, maybe Shane got jealous of The Miz or something like that because, his father was still proud of him even through failure. So I don't know. Again, I've a couple months ago, you can say I had no interest in the storyline whatsoever. Still not too interested in it, I'd say, but I still can appreciate that they've actually tried to tell a compelling story. It's just the dynamic for The Miz, I'm not sure if it's going to work. But of course, I'll talk about it a little bit more when I do my turn alert for Shane McMahon. And then we have Elias for the first of 3 times is sitting in the ring playing to the crowd and makes fun of Cleveland and The Miz. For him getting beat up by Shane McMahon, basically. Okay. We then have the SmackDown Women's Championship. Asuka and Mandy Rose. Again, looking sexy as always, Mandy. Of course, she got hit out by EC3 before, but, again, I actually was kind of interested in that. I'm like, okay, I actually might be able to get behind this. We'll see, though. But the match was what it was. Wasn't terrible, but it wasn't really that great either. It was basically, just just to give something for Asuka to do since she didn't have anything to do for Elimination Chamber, so just give her something to do. Had her feud with Mandy, who, kind of just won in a feud with Naomi, basically. So why not win she? But it wasn't anything too spectacular. I didn't expect anything. Throughout the match, though, Sonya Deville was at ringside, trying to cause some distraction. It looked like she was trying to, pull something off. But towards the end of the match, ending was weird. She pulled out a kendo stick from underneath the ring. I guess she left the cloth and the ring apron on the apron of the ring. Mandy goes hit the back rope and running for a clothesline or something like that. And she slipped and fell on the apron. And then because of that, Asuka then did her one of her vicious kicks, like a modified Black Mass or something like that from Aleister Black, and that's how she pins Mandy Rose and wins. So I'm like, okay, abrupt ending. Didn't really do much for either one of them. But then after the match, Sonya's trying to apologize to Mandy, but Mandy doesn't want anything to do with it. So I'm like, okay, I thought we were going to get another turn tonight, but maybe they'll wait for this one. Maybe they don't do so many turns in one night. But I'm like, okay. Was what it was, basically. But I guess now we're splitting up Mandy and Sonya. All right. I mean, we just started a women's tag team division. Now we're splitting up a women's tag team division already. Interesting. We'll see where it goes, though, of course, and who will be the one to turn face, who will turn heel. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, so we got that match, which was what it was. Wasn't terrible, but wasn't really too great either. Backstage, we see the New Day talking to Vince, and you're trying to convince him to put Kofi into the title match. It's just endorsing what how we all feel about him, obviously, and how he's waited 11 years, he's worked so hard, he definitely deserves the opportunity. So then Vince says yes and decides he will make the WWE Championship match a triple threat match. That match is next, and I'm like, it's next. It's too early to have a championship match. You don't a main event championship match. Don't you think? I thought the championship match or the match with Becky and Charlotte was going to be the main event. Was not, though. Of course, we'll talk about that main event in a little bit. But the match we were supposed to get the championship match next. Kofi comes out, but then the announcers are being told something, and Greg Hamilton says that the championship match will take place later on. Instead, there will be a handicap match, and the New Day was apparently supposed to be barred from ringside announced before Kofi came out. So the handicap match was a match with Kofi Kingston taking on the Bar. But it was a rule where the Bar is allowed to have both competitors in the ring, and that basically a 2-on-1 tornado tag team match. And again, if there was a little more of a story, why is Vince, just so opposed to having Kofi gain a championship opportunity? I'd be like, okay, I can get a little bit more, I can understand this, but because it hasn't happened yet, I'm just like, okay, this is like, what the hell? Like, why? So Kofi showed some life in the match, but he still lost, even though the rest of the New Day members, Big E and Xavier was trying to come out and save him. And then also afterwards, we have Nakamura and Rusev come out also to take out the rest of the New Day. So I know some people, including Deluxe Man, was pitching online and said, I hope this isn't true, and I hope so too. I hope I'm not going to make a League of Nations 2.0, like with Sheamus, Cesaro, Rusev, and Nakamura. Don't make a League of Nations 2.0. That's going to lead to most of these guys who, most of them I'm pretty sure, would benefit very well from leaving WWE. I mean, I'd say all of them except for Sheamus again. Like, Sheamus is just, he's like 40, 41 now. Again, he's rumored to be wrestling with spinal stenosis. But I feel like, Cesaro, Rusev, and Nakamura could definitely benefit from going to AEW for sure. But I was just like, don't do that. But so yeah, again, if there was more of a story behind this, I'd be like, okay, I'm for this. But for now, I'm just like, I have to wait and see before I really say, what I really feel about this. But so we had that happen. I'll talk about one more match, then I'll do the live chat. Actually, next before we had Elias pop up once again. This time he made fun of the New Day. So he's playing songs, making fun of Cleveland, making fun of the baby faces from what just happened, such as when the Miz getting beat down by Shane. He actually, of course, made a comment about the Steelers also because he's from Pittsburgh also. And of course, I'm surprised he didn't make any comment about Antonio Brown. Of course, he made some LeBron James references also because Ron, he once played here, but then he chose to go to LA and whatnot, and all that craziness. But yeah, we're gonna do the Raw Tag Team Championship Triple Threat match next. It was the Revival taking on a team of Team 2 Happies. They call them Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, and taking on NXT's Ricochet and Aleister Black. Now, of course, this is probably meant to be DIY. And apparently also, before I go on, Tommaso Ciampa posted a photo on Twitter of him holding the championship, saying Goldie and I are on the Fastlane to recovery. So are they not stripping him the title? Or are they actually going to have him? Because now I'm hearing he may only be out for like 3 to 6 months. I've heard he may only be out for. But since it was not severe, maybe they'll still try to have the match and then take some time off. Maybe, I don't know, but so we'll see what happens there, of course. But instead, we had Ricochet and Aleister Black. Very fun tag match, definitely. It was, even though Ricochet and Aleister Black are not 100% done with NXT yet, this was 6 NXT superstars in the ring putting on just a pretty good match. The Revival looked good. Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, I thought, actually looked pretty good. Of course, Ricochet and Aleister Black had their great sequences as well. My favorite part of this match is still the spot where Ricochet did like a dive over the ring post, and I think it was Dawson tagged himself in, tagging Ricochet, and took out, I think it was Bobby Roode outside the ring. Sick spot right there for sure. But it was just a fun, fast-paced match, giving these guys a lot of time in the ring to shine. The Revival win, of course. They pinned Chad Gable after hitting the Shatter Machine on him, which, again, despite the fact that, the Revival have taken losses lately to, several NXT talents, again, they're still putting on a pretty good match ever since, they won those tag titles. And also, hallelujah, we actually got, even though they introduced, the other, language announced teams during the entrance, they still, gave the Revival at least a decent entrance, not just, the jobbers entrance, basically. So I was like, okay, cool. But yeah, very good match. Of course, after the match though, the Revival randomly started beating down on everyone, and then the three teams started brawling again with each other. But it was just a setup, for Aleister Black and Ricochet to showcase themselves, since they're still the new guys basically. But definitely a fun showing from all three of these tag teams for sure. So yep, the Revival retain. And yeah, so that was that. Check the live chat once again. We've got the live chat. It looks like we're getting Beth Phoenix and Natalia in a tag team match. We'll talk about that in just a second. He would love to see Ricochet and Aleister get a rematch, which sure, I'd be cool with that. We got Export saying, I think Brian killed Mustafa Ali. I thought he did too. We'll get to that spot too. That still, I think, was my favorite spot of the night. We'll get to that. The peeping match was crazy. Shane turned on Miz, and I was like, let's go. Again, I was shocked for sure that happened, but we're going to get that probably that in Mania. The Miz was on fire here tonight in Cleveland, Ohio. Oh, for sure he was. And again, he was super over with his home crowd as well. Between like every two matches, Elias interrupts and talk about what happened, which I actually, again, I'll get to it when I get to the last one. I actually like that. And it actually made him look like he was actually, doing something worthwhile, not getting interrupted. Yes, he did his whole walk with Elias spew, but, even if they are trying to make Elias, a heel, he felt more legit with what he was doing. Again, making fun of the baby faces from the previous match and, making fun of things, taking shots at the Cleveland crowd as always. Let's see here. He also thought that the Miz was going to turn, but I still had that thought in mind that Shane was going to turn. Again, could have definitely gone either way for sure. Again, I really thought it was going to be Miz, but it was Shane. We got Little Fettuccine 69. Best match tonight. I'd say the U.S. title or the WWE title match. I think was my favorite matches tonight. Multi-Man Mania, the United States Championship match was underrated. Oh, that was just an amazing match there. Mid-Card Mania 2019, Shane unleashed the beast. Does Cleveland really rock? I haven't been there one time, so I wouldn't know. Brock is winning. He isn't going to pass up that new Fox deal money. Ugh! He better not win at WrestleMania, but I have a bad feeling he will, since, it's not going to be the main event. WWE is wasting EC3 for sure, but I found the stuff with Mandy Rose and the pre-show interesting, so we'll see where that goes. EC3 needs to be on commentary. I like to see them try. I agree the Charlotte and Becky match was definitely pointless. I will talk about that when we get there later on. Vince doesn't want Kofi to be champions because he is not a box office superstar. Well, too bad, Vince, because, you had him replace an injured Mustafa Ali, and he just got over big time. And, he had that famous line in there, he's on AJ Styles, like, fight me. I've waited 11 long years, basically, and he's not passing up the opportunity as well. So Kofi Mania is definitely going to be a thing at WrestleMania 35. Kofi is mid-card. Big E has more potential to be WWE champion. Kind of agree, but at the same time, Kofi deserves his moment also, and to make a statement also for his nationality and whatnot. But honestly, if Kofi does win when Kofi wins a Mania and it results in Big E turning on him, by all means, go for it. Again, because I've always definitely thought Big E has a lot of single potential for sure. Gable tagged me there. Thanks for correcting me there, Elite Squad. What's up, Jay? Saying he thought Fastlane was pretty damn decent. He thought it was a C+. Sweet. Fastlane should be a TV special. And we got Daniel Ho Ching saying EC3 mute gimmick is over. He can now talk. Yeah, about time he could definitely talk. And of course, Sonya and Mandy were making jokes about. Well, more so Sonya for sure. Once again, EC3 and maybe find somebody else. And I'll try to hit on Mandy Rose because I can take care of Sonya Deville again. She's only 2 days younger than me. I would make that joke all the time. But thank you for the comments in the live chat, guys. Moving on now to definitely one of the best matches of the night. This fatal four-way match for the United States Championship. Man, was this a lot of fun. All four of these guys, were out there fresh, looking good with Samoa Joe, R-Truth, Andrade Cien Almas, who I thought had one of my favorite spots in the match when he did that like corkscrew, moonsault, wherever heck it was called, he did over the top rope. Like, he didn't get too much height over the rope, but he got over there and he took out Joe. Of course, Rey Mysterio had a nice looking hurricanrana. He hits on Joe as well. Andrade and Rey always have these great back and forth matches. It was just, giving more momentum. I mean, R-Truth didn't look good, but we know he's probably not going to be having a match at WrestleMania. Well, probably in the Honor the Giant Royal Battle Royale, but of course he had his spots where he was trying to be Cena and whatnot. On Andrade, is probably continuing his feud with him and Rey, because that match needs to be at WrestleMania. I mean, it's not going to be for the U.S. title as I predicted in my card predictions, but it's still going to be an awesome match. The two deserve to have a WrestleMania match, and it would be pretty darn epic if it would happen. And against Samoa Joe, again, just looked dominating this match. Definitely a couple very close near falls. There was a point towards the end of the match where I thought Rey Mysterio was going to win it. I forgot to remember. Yeah, there was a point where Zelina Vega and Carmella were arguing at ringside. Actually, Carmella tried taking out R-Truth with a super kick and whatnot, but then Carmella and Zelina started brawling. So Truth and Andrade pulled them apart, and in the ring was when Joe hit the Uranage on Rey, and then also they both just dropped their legs like, oh shit, and they just went running in there and broke it up. But eventually though, Rey passed out to Samoa Joe's Coquina Clutch, and Samoa Joe is still your United States champion. And again, I'm hoping the rumor match of him and John Cena for the U.S. title happens. That would be an awesome match, definitely. A great way to put over Samoa Joe and a great way to make the U.S. title feel relevant again. I don't think that title has felt relevant at all. Jeff Hardy's run was okay. Nakamura's was awful. Because let's be real, I don't think we've had a good U.S. champion in quite some time. Maybe Kevin Owens, I thought, had whenever he had U.S. title a couple times, he had a decent run with it. But yeah, it's of course, again, no one has held the U.S. title better in my opinion, of course, though, than John Cena in 2015. But yeah, again, it's been a while since that U.S. title has felt relevant. So I'm glad it's already feeling as relevant, so much more relevant than it did the past year or so. So I'm definitely looking forward to hoping that match with Samoa Joe and John Cena happens at WrestleMania. We then get the women's tag title match, the Boston Hug Connection taking on the Samoan Slaughterhouse, Tamina and Nia Jax, as George Deluxe would say. I actually didn't really catch most of this match. That's why I actually went downstairs and grabbed something to eat. But when I saw him in this match, again, you can tell with the matches on the show that were like some of the weaker matches, like the pre-show match, Asuka and Mandy Rose, and this women's tag title match. You can tell that they did try. I'll give these four women credit, even though I'm not a fan of Nia Jax and Tamina. They still tried, but this was the perfect example of a cool down match. That U.S. title match definitely was one of the hottest acts of the night for sure. This match in no way is going to top it off. But again, I still give credit that since the Rumble and of course, her title match against Ronda, the night after Rumble, basically, and a few others occasions here and there, Bayley's really gotten better in ring. Definitely, I gotta say, she's definitely looking a lot better in the ring right now. And also, fun fact here, this was the first time ever on the main roster and Sasha Banks was successfully able to retain a championship. And all of her title defenses on the main roster, she has dropped the title. So the match, though, had a little bit of an abrupt ending. Bayley basically did a roll-up, did the elbow on Nia Jax, and then I think Nia went for something else, but then it looked like she just Bayley said something. I can't remember what exactly she had, but basically she just rolled up Nia Jax. I think Nia kind of handed the win to Bayley, basically looked like. But afterwards, Tamina and Nia started beating down on Sasha and Bayley. Okay, what's going on here? But I thought oh. So my predicted match for WrestleMania for the women's tag titles was a match with Bayley and Sasha Banks taking on Trish Stratus and Lita. Both of these women, have had stories of mention how they grew up being big fans of both of them. So I feel like it'd be very fitting for them to have a WrestleMania match against two of their favorites of all time. Would be pretty much awesome. But then after Sasha and Bayley were beaten down by Nia and Tamina, I completely forgot special guest commentator was Beth Phoenix. So Beth took exception to what Nia and Tamina were doing, and she got in the face of Tamina arguing, and then she actually started to fight with Tamina, which then eventually led to Nia, Jax, and Tamina beating down her. And I'm like, okay, the only person that's going to come out right now is Natalya, which she did, because in real life, Beth Phoenix and Natalya are like really good friends, as we all know. But Nia, Jax, Tamina stood tall over them. So I guess, we're not just getting just, a one-on-one match with Bayley and Sasha taking on Beth and Natalya. I'm starting to wonder, though, based off of, what the Iconics were saying on the pre-show, I'm starting to wonder if maybe we're gonna get like a fatal four-way match at WrestleMania with Boston Hug Connection, Beth Phoenix and Natalya, Nia and Tamina, and the Iconics. I'm starting to wonder if maybe that's the route we're going. That way you have, the champions, a team from Raw, a team from SmackDown, and, a Hall of Famer, like someone else, someone different, getting. I mean, yes, Beth was in the first Women's Royal Rumble, but her getting this tag title shot, would be fresh also to begin with as well. Just give something like a little more like a little spice to WrestleMania for sure. So I guess that's where we're going, unless they want to throw in Kairi Sane and Io Shirai somewhere there. Although I'm still hoping that probably not going to have. I keep predicting Kairi Sane facing Asuka at WrestleMania, but it looks like we already know who's going to be facing Asuka, which we'll get to that in a second also. But still, a decent tag match, I gotta say. But again, this was more of like a cool down match. So definitely an interesting angle though, seeing Natalya though, and Beth Phoenix supposedly getting a tag title opportunity. All right, let's move on to one of my favorite matches of the night, this WWE Championship match. And again, Kofi was beaten down, but apparently Vince was still making this a triple threat match. So Kevin Owens comes out, then Daniel Bryan comes out. And then the third member who came out, of course, was Mustafa Ali, which the crowd was crapping on him in the rest of this match at first, because again, we all know the rumors. Well, I don't know if we all know rumors. Again, I was told by a friend of mine that I just became closer with recently, told me that apparently the original plan for WrestleMania 35 was Daniel Bryan versus Mustafa Ali, because they wanted an Arabian going into the Saudi Arabia show they're doing in like late April, early May to be champion, which is why Mustafa Ali's been getting as big of a push as he has. But again, but it's still too soon. Again, I love Mustafa Ali; he's a great talent, but it's too soon. And also, Kofi has the momentum right now. Like this is Kofi's moment. You can't take it. You can't take it away from him. But I thought, okay, I'm fine with this. At least it'll give Mustafa Ali his overdue championship opportunity that he's definitely owed. And he can showcase himself. I didn't expect him to win the title, but he can at least showcase himself. And man, was this an awesome match. There was a lot of spots, though, where I'm like, ooh, like I was scared because, like, not because, thought that they were awful, but there was, like, they could have been, like, nasty if done wrong. Like, there was a spot there where Kevin Owens did a forward flip, like a forward moonsault or a senton over the top rope on to take out both Ali and Bryan or something like that. But or take out Rowan, I can't remember. But the way he hit it, he was this close to smacking his face off of the announce table. I'm like, Kevin, be careful there, my friend. Of course, Rowan got involved in the match. And actually, there was a spot in the match that looked like that Kevin Owens was about to win the championship, but Rowan pulled him away. And I keep hearing rumors that Kevin Owens is supposed to be involved in a feud for WrestleMania, but the question is, who's it going to be? Again, I don't really want to see Kevin Owens and Rowan at WrestleMania. It doesn't interest me at all whatsoever. But I will give credit that I've been okay with Rowan's role as Daniel Bryan's intellectual peer. I mean, again, I'm hearing rumors that the original that was supposed to be Lars Sullivan, but I'm actually, I'm cool with what Roman's been able to do so far with Daniel Bryan. It's nothing like too major, but it's nothing too bland either. I've been cool with it. But there was that spot there. Mustafa Ali, though, again, this like he stole the show. The Spanish flies, the hurricanranas. There was a moment towards the end of the match where I thought he was going to go for a Spanish fly on Daniel Bryan. Like, he hit one on Bryan off like the top rope into the ring. But there was one I thought he was going to try to, hit Bryan with the Spanish fly, off of the top rope onto the floor. And I'm like, oh, like that's not really, what I would do with Bryan, since he has the history of his head injuries and whatnot. There was a couple other spots. He did a 450 splash on one of them. I can't remember if it was Bryan or Owens on the apron. He also took an apron, a power bomb on the apron from Owens as well. Again, just so many, like, as I always mentioned when he was on 205 Live, Mustafa Ali took so many crazy bumps. It was not even funny. Like, they established him well as, again, like, the heart of 205 Live. And just like matches he had with, like, Buddy Murphy. He had one with Tony Nese, today with Tom. Like, I felt the same way about watching those matches as I did when I saw this match, his performance. Of course, though, unfortunately, though, he ate the pin. But my favorite part of this match, my favorite part of this whole night, was that ending where Ali went for like a moonsault, and Bryan just charged in while Ali was in midair, and Bryan hit the flying knee on him. That, my friends, is up there with that spot last year at TakeOver Brooklyn 4, when Adam Cole super kicked Ricochet while Ricochet was on upside down in midair. Like, that spot is very close to where this one was. That's when, of course, Bryan takes the pins the victory, and he leaves after the match, of course. But man, again, it was so close. Again, they definitely protected Kevin Owens very well. Again, Mustafa Ali had that performance to get the respect from the fans. I mean, again, he's definitely can't take Kofi's moment, but again, he will be champion someday. It's just not yet. I'll be cool with him though. I'll be fine if they if Samoa Joe, like, if Mustafa Ali beats Joe for the title in the Saudi Arabia show, if they really want to put a championship on Mustafa Ali, probably like in Arabia, have like a moment in Saudi Arabia or something like that. I'll be cool with that, because they do have some unfinished business with the U.S. title. I mean, that was the U.S. title with their feud in general that was started right before the Royal Rumble. But yeah, this was just a fun match. A lot of crazy spots. Again, Kevin Owens is definitely look like he's in great shape. He's definitely looking like he's starting out very fresh as a babyface. Again, yeah, it's still strange that, Vince McMahon, who claims wordy authority, takes away the person we wanted to win the championship out of the match and replace him with a babyface. But again, Kofi would get that moment. Again, the story has to just pan out a little bit more. Again, I just don't understand why is Vince McMahon against Kofi getting a title shot all of a sudden. But still an awesome match, definitely. One of my favorite matches of the night, for sure. Then we had Becky Lynch taking on Charlotte Flair. Becky came out, of course, with the crutch, and she was really, selling the knee injury throughout most of this match. And again, going into this match, the thing that I was not as interested in this match is because, one, we all knew Becky was going to win. Like, she should have won, definitely. But again, the thing is, again, we've seen Becky beat Charlotte how many times already? So to me, it's like, it was not a big shocker. Oh, Becky can beat Charlotte even just on one leg. But the match ends with when Charlotte was barely able to get Becky into the figure eight leg lock. And out came Ronda Rousey. She literally just gets in there, punches Becky Lynch in the chest, and just stands there waiting for the referee to, disqualify Becky Lynch. It was just like a wet fart to me. I was just like, okay, like, what was the point of this then, basically? Like again, like, you couldn't have, again, like, my idea was, again, well, again, first let's go back here again. I keep saying, the McMahons should have never gotten involved in this storyline in the first place. Well, okay, probably have some type of involvement, but not like that big of an involvement that, again, it's made the storyline, you know, kind of a little like messy. Like basically they've made it a lot more complicated than it really needs to be. As I said before, I pitched the idea that maybe they should have Becky Lynch take on Nia Jax, because Nia Jax was the one who gave Becky the knee injury at Royal Rumble. So this would be Becky getting her full comeuppance on Nia Jax, basically, for her to get added to this championship match. But my thing also was, if they were really sticking with that story, how Ronda Rousey really wants to get into the ring with Becky at WrestleMania, again, they should have waited till tonight to do the heel turn, or tomorrow on Raw. Like, I feel like they did it 1 week too early, because as I said last week, I feel like, one moment Ronda was upset with what Stephanie was doing, but then all of a sudden, she's like blaming everybody else and just beating the crap out of, the person. Like, if Ronda did want to get her hands on Becky for sure, like, she should have waited until, like, after this match, I felt, to do the heel turn. I felt like it would have been a little more smoother, but we're still getting what we want. Becky Lynch to get her moment at WrestleMania. Again, I can't wait, for it to happen, and I'll be alive. So the match, yeah, was kind of disappointed with the match itself, but again, we got what we wanted, so I can't complain much more about it. And then finally, again, I started going through as it's late. I'm just kind of tired, and I feel bad that I dozed off after the show, or else I would have been here sooner. Our main event, though, well, actually, first we got our main event. We actually had Elias one more time out there. This time he shoots on Becky Lynch. And then he says, well, that's more like it, guys. They get erupted tonight. And then out comes Lacey Evans. And I'm like, oh, boy, here she comes again, walking out and walking back. Obviously, I'm starting to speculate more that Lacey Evans is probably going to be facing Asuka at WrestleMania and dethroning her. Still not too crazy about it, but whatever. That the SmackDown Women's Division is not really making much noise now that, all the focus is on the Raw Women's Division with Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda. So she comes out, and when she's finished, all of a sudden we hear the crowd pop. I'm like, who's coming out? All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Randy Orton hits an RKO out of nowhere. And then AJ Styles, who've been saying he'll take care of Randy Orton, when he has the time. And because Randy Orton's been kind of like, trash talking in the past couple weeks. And Styles out of nowhere hits a phenomenal forearm out of nowhere on Randy Orton. So obviously, again, the feud with Randy Orton and AJ Styles for WrestleMania is off to the races. And I definitely think they'll put an awesome match at WrestleMania. So I look forward to seeing it. So again, I definitely like how, these Elias segments are kind of set up, for that. And again, they felt like they had a point to it. He came out, he would trash Cleveland, and he would also trash, what had just happened basically on the babyface pretty much. And I thought, again, it worked. I liked it. So, I mean, again, I'm still not happy about Elias being a heel, but at least if they're going to make him, feel more relevant, not just a joke being sabotaged, then cool with me. So we had that. And then finally we had our main event, which I'm still not sure why this was the main event, but it was the Shield for the last time taking on the team, well, I call them the boring trio, but the team of Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, and Bobby Lashley. I'll be real, I was not digging this match at first, at the beginning. The crowd was not as into it, and it started off a little slow. And then there was a portion of the match where it was Corbin and Roman in the ring brawling. But then you show Seth and Dean fighting with McIntyre and Lashley out in the arena. But you're too much more focused on what's going on in the ring with Corbin and Reigns. And you're kind of back and forth. And then you're just like I would have much rather seen what was going on outside of the ring with with Seth, Dean, Drew, and Bobby. They should have done what they did at not Evolution and at Payback in 2014 with the Shield Evolution. Have two people sitting outside of the or else if it was at Extreme Rules camera 1 to 2, two of them in the ring, but down, and just focusing on the action outside the ring. I didn't get why they kept taking us back and forth, but I would say I started to get this match really picked up though when Rollins did that spot where he jumped off of the out of the stands to take out Lashley and McIntyre, which that was awesome. And then it just wreaked havoc for most of the rest of the match. It was chaotic. They were brawling like crazy. Of course, there was a point where the original trio was trying to take out to take out let's see, they do a triple power bomb just to mock what happened, but I think they're going to hit on, I think Rollins, I think it was, but then out of the blue came, Dean and Roman, just like chaotic out of the moment, just fast paced instincts, just taking them out and brawling. I kept saying, okay, if they want to at least, if anyone should be pinned in this match, it should be Corbin. Lashley was taken out when Rollins curb stomped him face first into the announce table, which kind of gives me compass because they did kind of have a little bit of a feud going at the beginning of this year. They hit a triple power bomb on Drew McIntyre to the table. And of course, Baron Corbin, who had been given everyone hell for the longest time. We've been seeing Braun Strowman put him down for good, but this time it was actually also before earning a match. Also, I thought versus Corbin almost got him when he hit Roman with the end of days, and it looked like Roman was out. But the Shield, of course, broke that pinfall, but it got back to a big brawl. But then the end came when they hit, first Dean hit the dirty deeds on Corbin as Corbin was surrounded. It was the perfect person to definitely have the ending to a match like this. And then they hit the triple powerbomb on Corbin, and then Reigns pinned Corbin to get the victory. And I hold my breath. I'm like, is this where Dean's gonna turn again? Because they mentioned a couple times, and I think this is the first time on live TV they've really admitted it, but they were mentioning that Dean Ambrose is not gonna resign after WrestleMania. So, and of course, they're getting ready for the triple power bomb, and you hear Rollins, of course, just bleeped out, go, "One more motherfucking time, guys," basically, before they power bombed up Baron Corbin. But after the match, of course, I'm thinking okay, is this where Dean's going to turn? But it was not. They did the Shield fist bump, and that's how the show went off the air. So what I think is going to happen, either way, whether Dean's leaving or not, they're really starting to, mention it, which again, they don't really, do that often again, but once again, as I say, for it's WWE really that creative to go along with this being a work. But what I'd say is, tomorrow night on Raw, Dean Ambrose will come out and say, hey, I did a favor for you. I need you to do a favor for me. I want my one last match I want to have is against you at WrestleMania. Because apparently rumors were, if Roman didn't get sick and drop the title, we were supposed to get Roman and Dean at WrestleMania 35 this year, apparently for the Universal Championship, which would have been cool with me. Again, we haven't, besides that 8-minute match or whatever, however long match they had, that really rip off a match they had Survivor Series 2015. We've not seen these two have a one-on-one match or a type of feud. So again, even if Dean's leaving, if they want to have this last match be him and Roman at WrestleMania, fine with me, go for it. Of course, that's where, I think, or either there or, after Rollins hopefully dethrones Brock Lesnar, which he better, but I'm starting to worry since, they're apparently trying to sign Brock, longer term after WrestleMania 35, which would be, again, just get rid of him already. Let him go. Let it go. Let it go. Sorry, I got pissed at Coach for saying that one time last year. Anyways, but so I think, he'll either if Dean is staying, he'll either turn after the match with Roman or during the celebration for Rollins winning the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. But that better happen. But that's how we went off the air, guys, and that was it for Fastlane. Let's check the poll on Twitter here. 15 votes for what grade would give Fastlane. 27% said A, 33% said B, 33% said C, and 7% said D or lower. I give it a B+. Again, there was some stuff, little nitpicks I had in there, but most of the show I thought was pretty fun, I thought, for sure. Let me see what we got in the live chat. I wonder what they're going to have Luke Harper do. Not too sure, but hopefully something good. Jason had a gut feeling Joe was going to drop the belt. Glad it didn't happen. I thought, if anything, he was going to, if he would drop it, I thought this is when Andrade would have won the championship. But nope, they kept it on Joe. But again, which is good to keep his credibility up. So I'm hoping they had that U.S. title match to Cena at WrestleMania, which would be awesome. Any noticeable botches on Fastlane? Couple came off the top of my head. Mark loved the Shield's final match. Again, the first half of it, I wasn't digging it. But the second half, I was. The second half was awesome. But at first, I wasn't there. But it was still a fun match, definitely, between them. This could be the last time for sure we see them have a match together, which would be sad for sure. Again, because again, they're still one of my favorite factions, even though I didn't like their booking last fall. But I was fine with what they did here. What's in your Mania Survival Kit? Not sure. Oh, it's Team Skylar just changed his using. Oh, okay, that's why. What's in your Mania Survival Kit? I mean, again, I'm gonna be going again for WrestleMania. I'm gonna be going. Well, I'm gonna be leaving after we watch Takeover. I'm gonna ride a Megabus overnight. I'm gonna go to the Jim Ross show. He usually does before WrestleMania. I'm gonna do the Hall of Fame. Do some more sightseeing. I'll go to WrestleMania Access, and I will be going to WrestleMania, and then we'll Raw for WrestleMania. Lacey Evans versus Asuka Mania probably gonna happen, but also a lot of people are definitely saying that Beth Phoenix should replace Renee Young on commentary. And Renee's all right, but I think the problem is, again, it just gets awkward when she's out there during Dean's match. She doesn't say anything. Carmel Rapid actually wasn't too bad tonight, but if you thought it was cringe, that's fine. The championship match was the best match he thought tonight. Will we ever get Beach Ball Mania again? I don't know. We'll have to see what happens, after Mania. Mark A. Fastlane a B. And Little Fettuccine 69, or formerly Team Skyway now, as it made known, gave it a C, which that's fine as well. I gave it a B+, and I'll see you tomorrow as well. So, yeah, I will try to record my turn alert for Shane McMahon very fast, and I'll get it exporting while I take my shower. Maybe I'll be able to upload before I go to bed. But yeah, I've had a long day. I'm tired. I got 4 hours of sleep, and, of course, springing forward an hour really did not help me at all, because I swear every time we spring forward, it always has to be at a time where shoot, lost my train of thought there. It always has to be at a night where I had to be up at a decent time the following day. But anyways, end rant there. But yeah, I'll be live up here again tomorrow for my Raw review. Again, stay tuned for my Shane McMahon turn alert, and then I'm going to try to get my next video game stuff uploaded, over the next couple days as well. So I didn't get to do much of it this past week, but just stay tuned for that, guys, as well. So again, B+ for Fastlane, a lot more fun of a show than I expected it to be. And now we're 27 days from WrestleMania 35. Can't wait, guys. So once again, guys, what great energy of Fastlane? What was your favorite match from tonight as well? Leave thoughts down in the comment section below. And please make sure to click my like to start more content to come to my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well, at TheMayorBrian93. And guys, I will see you tomorrow for my live review of Monday Night Raw. So until then, guys, have a great rest of your night. Peace out, everybody.